Hey guys, it's Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be wrapping up my looks at the Transformers Legacy Amazon exclusive Wreck and Rule collection with the Voyager class Prime Universe Bulkhead. Brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, who will remain fine folks despite the fact that the Springer review from yesterday was an absolute travesty. But not only was this brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, but also my good buddy Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below. Head on over to his Instagram, give him a follow, let him know Overlord Centra. Now, down to business. Why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see what all Bulkhead has to offer in terms of accessories, because, spoiler alert, this is probably my favorite of the Wreck and Rule collection. Yes, I'm a little biased because I love me some Transformers Prime, but I was actually looking for a second Bulkhead to, well, for now anyways, fill up a hole I have in my Transformers animated collection. We got Ratchet, we got Bumblebee, we got Prowl, we got Optimus, we don't have a Bulkhead. Why they didn't just color this guy in the animated colors to hold us over until we got a proper animated Bulkhead, don't know. The mind of Hasbro is an enigma, but I'm not talking about that. We're talking about accessories. Starting off with this little mace ball here. You can close up like that or crack open like an egg. And then pop it over his hand like so. Which is typically how I like to do it. And we also get a hammer. This is a new weapon. You could plug it into the end of the mace, like that. Or he can simply hold it in his hand. Whoop. Like that. Probably how I'll have it for final thoughts, but you've probably already seen that by now if you clicked on this video. Said we also get the little shoulder gun, which you can also put on his arm, but I like to put it back here. It's just a matter of lining this little peg up with the hole. That's what she said. And then I'll plug right in like so. And now he's got a shoulder cannon, which he doesn't typically have, but for this iteration, I don't mind it. I mean, he's got freaking camo paint. He's never had that before. And last but not least, we do have his shield, which can peg on the back. Like this. Goes on a specific way. Just doesn't seem to want to go on right now. Alright, see how it is. There we go. Plugs in like that. So he can have like a metal cape, I guess. But me personally, I like to pop this off. Just have him with the shoulder cannon, the mace, and then the hammer in his hand. But taking a closer look at him, I already looked at this mold, so I'll go through the articulation quick. His head is on a ball joint. Go up and down a little bit. Shoulders will pop out, back down, rotate around. Super tight bicep swivel on this guy. I don't know why that's so tight. Single jointed elbow gets you way past 90. He's got a wrist twist there. Waist swivel. Hips will kick out, back down, forward, back, thigh cut. Single jointed knee. And a little bit of ankle rocker with some hinge back and forth to boot. So giving him his hammer, which also has a peg on the side. All the good that'll do you. And a hole. That's odd. I wonder why it's got a... Why does it have a peg and a hole on the side? Interesting. Doesn't look like the peg would be very useful. It's not very long. But this is how I plan to display him. Something like this. I like this look. I think this is a cool take on this character. Despite the fact that it's not Transformers animated. I might just put him with those for right now. Until we get a proper Bulkhead. But until we get a proper Bulkhead, this guy will have to do. Again, I think it's really weird that they didn't seize that opportunity and be like, there's your animated Bulkhead, shut up. Because he's the only one we don't have. But before we wrap this up, bringing our two regulars, Mythic Legion's Brother Manibelith, and the infamous 11 Spawn, who as usual, actually, Bulkhead's almost the same height. That's odd. I thought Spawn was taller than Springer yesterday, but I guess I'll have to double check that math. And again, I just wanted to get that review over with before that figure fell apart any more than he already did. But at any rate, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I'm going to stand by my previous statement saying that yes, good old Bulkhead here from the Prime Universe is by far my favorite of this Wreck and Rule collection. If we don't count the two fossilizers, that is. But I think even if I did have those, good old Bulkhead here would reign supreme because I already liked the original version despite its flaws, and I like this one too. Granted, it does suffer a bit of that mold degradation issue that's been plaguing this Wreck and Rule collection. I don't know why the Junkion Jalopy, who's literally made to come apart, didn't suffer mold degradation nearly as bad as these guys, because he was like the 4th reuse of that body mold. But at any rate, I like this figure. I'm going to stick him with my Transformers animated stuff for now, and keep my fingers crossed that eventually we will get a proper Transformers animated Bulkhead, but in case we don't, I do have an extra one to go with them, so I'm good. So with that being said, before we wrap this sucker up, why don't we get good old Bulkhead here transformed and take a closer look at his vehicle mode. And as promised, here we have good old Bulkhead in his military truck mode. Once again, I think the darker green on this guy, despite the fact that it is camo, does kind of work for a Transformers animated version of the character. Now, of course, you got his guns stored up top here. And if we open up his feet, you can dump his hammer out the back. As well as his little mace ball. There it is. His little mace ball. Fold up the feet. And of course, he can roll. Whee! Whee! You see, he gets a wee because he's not poop. But, I like this figure, despite the fact that I already have one. I don't mind it. I think it's cool. If anything, he will be a stand-in until we get a proper Transformers animated version of the character. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.